One of the strongest girls I've ever met is Pauline Emaure. Either training, racing, or supporting, Pauline is out there enjoying a journey to document and a life skill to learn. Pauline is a businesswoman, an athlete, an outdoor enthusiast. Welcome to Tools of the Humans. I am TC and I'll be your host. Welcome to the show, Pauline. I've always thought you would be very reserved about your story and the way you dealt with a couple of setbacks. But the fact that you found Tools of the Humans, a way to reach out and talk about it, makes me really happy and proud of this new project. How are you? How is your day so far?
Well, I'm very great. Thank you for asking, and thank you for having me today on Tools of Human. True. Sometimes, you have to step out of your comfort zone. So yeah, I would say that for me today, it's this is what's happening. But I just believe that if sharing my I can just, I would say, change a little bit the view on people, how they deal with injury. If that could help us, help them, then I would be very happy.
Cool. Let's get there. So if I had to describe you, I could describe you as omnipresence, present everywhere, We create a challenge with the team and you're there. You're there cheering for your friend or attacking the challenge too. Or if it is a social event, you're there. Somebody needs support, you're always there. So tell us in 100 words who Pauline is.
Oh, wow. That's actually a very difficult question, this one.
I'm going to count them. I'm going to count the words, so watch out.
Thank you. Yeah, as you say, I truly love being part of people's journey and achievement. I think you just receive so much from that. That I really love it. And then who I am, I would say I'm just, living life day by day. Like everyone, I'm, making mistakes, crying, laughing, meeting people, losing others. The usual life stuff. But I think I just enjoy also learning, from all the challenges and the journey I'm going through. And being part of community and supporting people, it's really, I just love it. It's amazing what people can do. And I also, love to challenge myself too. But I can't say that I'm a very competitive woman though. But yeah, I'm just an enthusiast, sports and outdoor person, I would say.
Well, the way, I see you from outside, we've been knowing each other like for 4 or 5 years now. And because we are in the same team, obviously, and we've been training and doing some challenges together. So the way I see you is, like you said, finding energy and resources through other people. Okay, and that's really it's something positive. It's really a positive vibe because it doesn't happen very often. Okay, we can find a lot of pessimism towards the humans, but the way that you are talking about this and the way that you're acting, I have to give you credit. It's really something amazing. You've been, obviously, we're talking about humans that have been giving you, this kind of push, this kind of ability to challenge yourself and to improve. But you have been in the UAE for almost 2 decades now, and you can confirm that the elements from mountains to sea are present and available for your adventures and challenges. If I read your bio, it says she grew up on the west coast of France in an environment heavily influenced by living on the beach with a large surfing community. Is there one that you prefer over the other? Do you prefer the sea over the mountains, or What's going on there?
This is not even a question.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, definitely. I'm coming from France, a city called Les Sables. So they now have actually a 70.3 half Ironman there.
Time to explore, right?
So yeah, so the beaches and the sea is definitely, and it's what I love. I mean, I just enjoy. Yeah, I love it.
Much more than the mountains in the UAE.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, I the last time I went, I think skiing, I was 18, and I had like a guy just could not stop and hit me. So yeah, I had a problem with my ligaments. So after that, I was like, no, the mountain is not for me. Stick to the sea where you come from.
I mean, cycling in the mountains is something that you like, of course.
I think the mountain is something that I like. Yeah, sometimes I do crazy things without telling anyone or planning anything. So I've been doing that in UAE. I do enjoy going to France during summer, south of France, and just spend every morning on the bike and cycling there. Yeah, I love it.
I guess another good story about you reading your bio is that the community you grew up was a little bit traditional, so there was not really a football team for women. Is that correct? And then that's a sport that you wouldn't like to practice.
I love playing football. It was my thing. I think I was like 6, 7, yeah. I was just after, the lunch, I was with the guy playing football. I will come back from school. I will just play football. I loved it. And I was like, why can't I join the team? But yeah, when you go back 25 years ago, in a very small city, Catholic place, it wasn't there. I mean, they say we don't have women, we won't accept. It's not, there is no place for women. So I was very sad, to be honest. But I did play when I came back here in UAE. I did 2 seasons with the UAE Football Federation here. I enjoyed, but then I was too old.
Well, I mean, like you grew up in a place where inclusivity with women, especially for this kind of sports, was not that great, and then you still keep your faith in people and positive attitude. So that's really great, and that's something that we need to give to UAE: the inclusivity in sports and the ability to do many activities, men and women and young and old. It doesn't really matter. We can do this in many different ways. When we talk about a life journey and life skills, what do these words mean to Pauline?
Oh, wow. That's, again, something's very deep here. Wow, life journey. Yeah, that really talked to me a lot. Well, to be honest, I've gone through a lot in my childhood. I think more than most full-grown adults have. I was forced, I think, to grow up at a young age. So definitely my journey on life started very early. At that time I felt very unlucky and upset at life. But then you find out that everyone carries their own bags, right? And that's what makes us special. So I would say life journey also, it's just to live with no regrets. I think that's super important. And that's the thing that everyone should have in mind. Please live your life with no regrets. And for life skills, I think because of my life journey, it wasn't an easy one. I've learned to appreciate the moment. It's something's super important to be in the present and in the now and appreciate the moment. And to be grateful as well for what you have right now. Yeah, and to have empathy towards people also. I think that's the three really life skills that that will follow me for for a very long time.
You're not the first guest of Tools of the Humans that has this kind of view, in terms of life and approaching life, and it's a very stoic. It's a modern stoicism, I would say. I've been reading few books lately, and the attitude is like, okay, let me live this life. Okay, no matter what, I might have, like you said, my my childhood was not that great, but still, it doesn't define me in the moment. Something that happens in the past, it doesn't define me. What defines me is, like these life skills. What you try to find, and it. I mean, I was thinking about the episode and how I would approach, because this is different from the other guests where we were looking at some kind of let's say practical skills, let's say. But here we're talking deeply about something that is inside, which is worth it to share, right? I mean, like you're here to share your attitude to life, which is really great.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I can understand that it's different, but we all have a different journey, right? And so we will all see things different. But that's things that I also apply in sports, as well. When I run, I'm on the bike. Sometimes I just want to enjoy, the moment, the sunrise, the sunset, the people around me. So I do apply that, and obviously the empathy as well, everyone around you, your teammate, everyone has a story. So you just have to be aware of everyone. And
one of the journeys in the journey is your triathlon journey, your endurance, let's say, path. And where you had the challenge to learn to swim, but then you stepped on a dragon boating. For the listeners who have never heard of dragon boating, I'm reading here. Dragon boat racing originated in China, and its history goes back more than 2,000 years. The first people to participate were superstitious Chinese villagers who celebrated the 5th day of the 5th lunar month of the Chinese calendar. Dragon boating was held to avert misfortune and encourage rains for prosperity. The main object of their worship was the dragon, hence the name dragon boat racing. Dragon boats are human-powered canoe-like vessels. They were first made in the southern Guangdong province of China. A dragon boat comes in various sizes. However, the most popular boats in the UK are the ones with teams made up of 10 paddlers and 1 drummer, or 20 paddlers and 1 drummer. Is that true? Is that?
Yes. Yeah,
Tell us about this dragon boating, because here, like the first time I probably saw some pictures, but I never, met anybody that did this, so.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I did not know what it is also 6-7 years ago. So dragon boating was really fun. Well, I enjoy being on the sea, right? So for me to get back and being on the sea was just amazing. So I took the opportunity. And I love that it's a team sport as well. And we can't function without each other.
We need team coordination.
We are sitting 2 by 2, and everyone paddles, and we have to be very much synchronized. So it's the team spirit, and and it's very important, and I really love that. Probably, as you say, because at the beginning I like to support, and so for me, being also part of a team and do a team sport, I think it was it's really something I enjoyed. It's being on the sea, it's super cool. Early morning, you can to see the dolphin. I mean, I enjoyed. We did some races locally. We were quite good, and then we went to Ravenna in Italy. Actually, we did the World Championship, something like that. We did not really get any medals, but that was a good fun to reach that level and, and participate.
It's really a niche sport because it's a team sport and it's very hard, right? The races, the competitions are very short, right? It's like a sprint.
1K, so it's like some 200 meters, 400 or 500, and it goes to a long one to 1K. Yeah.
But I mean, it's like sprinting. It's not really an endurance. You go like all out from the beginning.
Yeah, it's like you have to build. So you start strong. I mean, the 200 is all out anyway. But then you build and you have to keep
all day. Yeah, it's a pretty good effort. So it's really interesting, and the historic part.
Yeah, it's just very difficult because you only work on one side. So then it creates a lot of imbalance, especially if you do, if you train for big races, then you will just work on your side, on the side. So you don't really change a lot. So I started to have a lot of imbalance, like hips and shoulder and everything. So yeah, that's why I stopped.
Yeah, it is there where you decided to start swimming properly and embark on your triathlon journey?
I know how to swim breaststroke, which for me, it's a swim, obviously freestyle. Yeah, in France, we are not very good at teaching freestyle, to be honest. So I knew kind of what I have to do, but I started again from zero.
I'd like to go back to one aspect we were talking about, and the way that people approach their journey and the way that people have their own journey through their life. And obviously it's a common idea that journey that the humans embark on is never easy. It's a common idea. I mean, we're talking about journey, and then you see the picture of the iceberg and you say, okay, this is the top that you reach, but in reality there is something under, or you can see this mountain with a lot of steps. This is what images that if you visualize that they represent your journey. But if you want to be completely stoic, you must say that difficulties are based only on perception. The reality is that when you fall from the bike as an athlete who loves cycles and break some bones, well, I mean, like that definitely is not it's not an easy journey. Okay, yeah, perception, yeah, it's gonna go away, but even when you break your bones, like it happened to you, it's never easy. And you had one after the other. And, to be honest, if it would have happened to me, I would have felt the force at that point, I would have felt that's not easy to come back, but you did. But so what was your thought process? I mean, you had first the injury and then a couple of collarbones, one after the other. Okay. Training with the people that you love, training with the team. So it was like, is this thing taking me away the entertainment or what?
Well, I do believe that everything happens for a reason. So I'm not mad. It has to happen. I had to go through that challenge, I think. So I've always been very positive about what happened. But yeah, I mean, early 2021, anyway, I've started with injury in my calf. I had a tear, and then I was just getting back to it, training during summer and September 2021. So the first crash, as you said, fractured my right collarbone. I bruised my left ribs and right hip. So that's it. So it was done. It happened. No choice. Then I was like, okay, fine. I guess I have to learn to be patient here, But I think the real challenge is not the bones that you break, it's everything around it, So I went back home, and then the next day you have to wake up. I mean, you wake up and you have to get out of your bed and you're alone and everything hurts. So you can't move the shoulder because for the first accident, I did not have any surgery. So it was supposed to heal by itself after 8 weeks. So, but any movement, then the bone was just coming out. And I remember a morning of being in my bed, and if I move the ribs, it's painful, and I have to go to the toilet. I can't get out. And I remember that morning I was just crying in my bed, And you're like, okay, so that's the journey. That's not about, the bones that are broken. It's what's waiting now for me. The shower, and then you want to get on with your life. You want to go to work. And you're like, oh, wow. So how for women, how do you wear your bra with one hand, How do you button your jeans? How do you do laces of your shoes? So here I was like, oh, wow, what am I going to do now? So the challenge started here for me. Because the bones, it's temporary. After 2 months, it's fine. Like you get back your life and you build again, and so it's okay, it will pass. But that moment where it was a lot of things unknown for me, how do I want to drink water. How do I open the bottle with one hand, So I was like, oh, wow. So do I have to stay home for 2 months and just, wear a big t-shirt and work from home? I was like, oh no, I will get cuckoo. So I was like, okay, let me watch YouTube video, how to do laces with one hand, how to wear your clothes with one hand, to shower, to, do your hair. So I've been, doing all the tutorial learning. So that was
there is a rational on one side that says, okay, you're going to get through. But the rational, the reality is very abstract in the moment. Exactly. You say, yeah, I'm going to get through, because you need to do a certain point. As you say, when you wake up, there are practical things. And now you need to relearn. So good on you that, you adapted and you were able to forge yourself in a situation that was unknown. I mean, it's historical, right? I mean, every poet, Dante Alighieri from Divine Comedy is talking about the unknown, and the fear of the unknown, and people are not traveling and not moving. And this is what happens. I mean, it's part of the journey. Some people are luckier, and maybe they don't have to deal with logistics, but definitely when you have a collarbone, especially because you didn't get any surgery for the first one, right?
So no, that's I mean, if I can recommend to people listening that show, and one day it happens, please just go with the surgery. It's you will recover in no time. It's much better than for the bones to get more stronger later on. That was a big mistake. I thought that it's good, to let it heal naturally, and I was a bit on all these kind of things. But no, I won't recommend that. Luckily then I had a second accident, so I could fix the bone by having a nice plate. 6 months later, I was starting again and back on my TT bike. And let's call it a little, a technical problem on the bike, I will say. The handlebar fell off. So I had another accident. Unlucky, nobody was hurt. And I fractured again the collarbone. I knew right away that it's fractured again. I lost a lot of skins on the track that time. The wounds were, plus I was wearing, the blue cycling jersey and everything, and the track is blue. So I reached the hospital like a Smurf, I think on that day I was the grumpy one, but yeah. Second one. But that time I have to say, that time I was very, I was upset at the beginning for the few minutes. Like, I remember I was like, why? And why me? Why again? I guess that's the normal, question that everyone will have. And then you're like, okay, it's done. You don't have to be upset. Just, I don't know, what do I have to learn again? But there's, some things that I have to learn from that challenge again. So let's do it. And yeah, it was quite, I mean, it was fine, you know. I had the surgery the next day. It went very fine. I just had to deal with the wounds because I had a lot of wound. I had that tetanus shot also because it was, yeah.
But you had already done the due diligence for the logistics the first time, so you were able to.
Exactly. Yeah. I knew how to deal with everything. Actually, I did not struggle much because after one day, you can already still move your arm and ask you to move the arm. So you can already like do a lot of things. So no, so the second one was fine, except the wounds that were a bit difficult to handle. It was fine. I have to say I have nothing to say about that accident. I recovered very well. I was positive. Obviously, it's still a shock for the body. I mean, that's a point also that I want to mention, like, because I think as an athlete, we hear a lot, you know, like, come on, let's go again. And, you know, those like inner fight and let's, you know, get back on the bike and go. And but
push through.
Push, and you know, and it's time to okay, and don't waste your, I mean, you know, keep your fitness and go on the indoor cycling. And but here I want to make a point. Yes, it's right, like, you know, if people
you don't
are
want to sit depressed, yeah.
But I think like you have, it's a shock for the body. I mean, it's kind of a trauma, you know, especially the first accident with the speed and everything. And I think we also have to let the body and the mind heal. And I think so many times we underestimate that because it takes so much for the body and for the mind to heal. So here I want to really like tell people, like, please take your time. Don't listen to anyone, you know. If you're not ready, you're not ready. Like, just listen to your body. You will know better than anyone if you are ready to start, if you need more time to rest, if you know. So yeah, the peer pressure, it can be good, but sometimes also it can also be a bit negative, and we have I think we start again too early. I think that's what happened for me at the first accident, actually, because then I was like, okay, I need a challenge, so I will do the 7 Emirates cycling challenge 1.5 months, you know, later. And you don't really like give the time to your body to to heal properly and to adjust.
Yeah, it's a lot to process. I mean, injuries are not the easy. I think that the common denominator there was that you both times you broke your collarbones, you were with friends who took care of you, right? So going back to your first statement, okay, I like humans. I like to be around humans and getting people, you know, to know them, and out of curiosity, you know, see what they can give me. That was one of those were two situations where you got at least learning the stories, okay, hearing the stories of what happened, you know, the way your friends talking about what happened, and you know, like, okay, we took care of Pauline and everything. So that's really something that you're able to keep in your life, and it's a strength. Okay, it's a tool. You know, having the good vibes of people. Yeah. I mean, like, if you are hiding from people, or if you are keeping people away, this is gonna be even worse for the way that you are. You know, maybe other people, they don't want to be around, have other people around. So for them, you know, you break a collarbone, you do it by yourself. But for you, I think it was a great help, and the community of friends and athletes was around you.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, the first accident, it was me and Jason mostly. So since that day, like, our friendship is, we always take care of each other. There's not a week without messaging each other. So it does create some also very positive things. And I'm so grateful, that I had the people around me to make me laugh at the hospital and making this like very smooth and fun.
Tools of the Humans. This is your contemporary podcast where you will learn how humans face challenges. Everybody has a story to tell. Listening is knowledge. Let us know if you're interested in sharing your story or if you know somebody who wants to tell theirs. The show is available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube.
But so we can also think that that was it. But 6 months later, after that, I've also developed PTSD. So I had the post-traumatic stress disorder. It came quite late, but I think because summer I was stressed with work and everything, and here again I did not let my body and mind heal properly. So that's a big thing. So I just developed fear and phobia of falling. We can think that it was falling off the bike while riding, but not at all. I was fine on the bike. I've started to develop that fear while running. So I was just scared to fall, and then it was while walking. So this one has been a very difficult challenge. So I did not know what's happening. So for a few months, I kept that for myself. And then until the day where I was just going home, walk, and I could not even go and get a lunch because the AFC, it's marble. So I had difficulties with marble. Marble was for me slippery, so I could not go. Any changes of color or patterns, I could not. I was so scared.
Was it the fear of falling and injuring yourself falling and feeling pain? I mean, exactly. you were if I fall now, I'm gonna break some bones. I'm gonna injure myself. Because exactly. If you fall over a mattress, not a big deal. But I mean, you were feeling danger from coming from the ground.
Exactly, and especially if there were people, then I was scared that I'm gonna fall and hit people, or they will also fall with me. I think that's because of the first accident. And so then I've developed what we call the fight responses. So first I enjoyed, because you get adrenaline shot all the time. So it was for anything and everything, to be honest, a bike passing very close from me, I will get that adrenaline shot. So at the beginning, I was like, whew, that's cool. Yeah, I enjoyed that. So I was super happy. And after sometimes I was like, well, it's not normal. And now I'm tired. So my brain was just sending danger signal for anything and everything. So during winter, when it was raining, I was just not going out. Nowhere to go out. So I've struggled a lot, and then I obviously few people that are close to me could see what's happening. I could not hide it very much, especially in the office. I had to hold my colleague's hand to go and grab lunch. So I was like, oh wow, okay, so what to do? And I was like, okay, there is some things with my mind, I will overcome this. For me, any struggle with the mind, fear, I could never really understand people having fear or phobia. I was like, how come? Just go and do it. You have fear of height. It's okay, just do it once. You will be scared, but the second time you will be fine. I could not understand what that mean, what it is. So I was like, oh wow, I'm having a mental issue that's this can't happen to me. I'm healthy. I can't have that. So it took me few months actually to be oh wow, Pauline, no, this is happening. And then I was like, okay, maybe I should have a break, So I took one of my friends, we traveled to Cambodia, and I was like, you know what? I want to run half marathon there. So obviously I had to hold my friend's hand for 21K. But I felt good that I did it, but I was like, okay, it's not normal. And then I was, listen, I need help. Like, so yeah, I talked to a few friends that I can't do it myself. I need help. So I went to see someone, a life coach and expert in, phobia, anxiety, and everything. Where I say, no, it's fine. You're normal. It happens to people. People can develop those fear for anything and everything. It's just your mind. We need to reprogram. But you're not crazy. It's okay. So I was like, okay, that's good. So slowly I could walk again and run. I mean, to be honest, I'm still not yet 100% fine. I'm still going through that journey. And it's not an easy one. So now I do understand when people are telling me that they have fear of the sea, of whatever. I mean, I totally understand. And this is also some things, I've never really talked about it with the teammate, because it's all about, competition and all about the positive things. But as athletes, I think we have difficulties, or it's a bit taboo to share all those weaknesses. So it was very difficult for me to open to people and I was like, I had a hard time to understand what's happening, so I don't think they will ever understand. But then I thought, no, maybe some people, do have the same. So, and then, we realized that we just don't talk about it. It's a bit taboo. We just talk about performance races. But when I open up, I could hear people, they say, oh yeah, I had also a small accident, and then I could feel always my back wheel, that, so it's things in the mind, but we all have carried those, little traumatic event. And I don't think it should be a shame to talk about those things.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think you're bringing an important tool that you've been using. On one side, you try to rationalize and to fix this one in time and space, and say, okay, I'm going to fix this. But the reality is our mind is much more complex than just order it, and especially if you had like a physical trauma like this, then, and more than one, consistently, then at the point, you need to process in some way. As you said, there is no shame in, sharing. It only takes one friend. If you only have one friend, and friend means it's going to listen to you, okay? And it's going to be happy for you if you're fine. It's going to be sad if you're sad. So the word friends has many, many meanings these days, but we're talking about this, somebody that's going to listen and say, look, I can see you from my side that you have right now wrong perception. You're not rationalizing the problem. You're not fixing it by yourself. You need to get help. And as you said, life coach is a pretty good tool, okay? Because these people, they have tools. Now stay tuned, because there are gonna be some episodes with with a really great guy. I'm not gonna announce it yet, but the reality is, these people have tools, and they have explored, and they have a database of experiences that they can, relay to you what you need in the moment. And finally, you're back to racing. So, either a little bit of help from this person, or finally you were able to overcome. You're back to racing.
I am. Short distance, and obviously I can't still get any speed on the run, because I still have those little here and there. But I'm out, I'm there, I'm racing, and I just want to point out that, guys, don't be afraid to share all those things with your teammate, with people around you. There will always be someone to listen to you, and don't be ashamed to have all those fear. It happened, and there is a way to overcome them. So that's also something that I really want to share.
This is don't be ashamed, find help is a very practical advice. But it's individual. You lost a couple of seasons, racing season, you were stagnating there, and it was depressing. And we want always to improve. So what made you stand up after the continuous injuries and unlucky events? What was your curiosity of exploring and traveling and finding challenges? Was it the need to be competitive again? Or what drove your resiliency to recover and be back on the field? There must be something that you were like, because then, yeah, don't be ashamed, go and find somebody. But what was your mindset there?
Oh, well, I mean, I think all those challenges were like always like a small race for me, like kind of. I mean, that was my competition to overcome those challenges. I think just because I love being outdoor, being there, being around people. And I was like, oh my God, no, I don't want to be sitting at home because I can't run. I don't want to do another sport because I'm scared of riding or running or whatever. So I was like, no way. It came into my mind for sometimes I was like, oh, I think I have now to pick a new sport. I think I'm done with triathlon. Like if I can't run, I can't deal with this. And then I was like, oh, whoa, what I'm saying? I was like, no way. Obviously I like to explore sports, but I was like, no. So I think it's just, I don't know, yeah, being outside, being with people. Like I was like, no way, I'm gonna stay at home. I can't do that.
Very, very, very dynamic. My next question is the question that I always ask to the guests of Tools of the Humans is like, have you ever said to yourself, I am going to lose this one? Like,
oh, yes.
Like feeling like, okay, let's see if I, roll the dice and I get over it.
Oh, yes. I mean, to be honest, I'm still saying it. Like, I think last weekend or something. So again, I had a bad run and a bad day, and that fear was coming, and I was like, "Oh, that's it." Like, that battle, I'm not gonna win it. But then the next day, I'm like, "Okay, it was just a bad day," No, I'm going there. But yeah, obviously, yeah, it's coming in your mind, and it's because it's a journey, right? It's not some things you can overcome or in a day when you have injuries. So it's a long journey and the process, and you always have days that are really good and days then that are bad. So you really need to go with that flow. But yeah, and I'm still saying that to myself. But no,
it's not the first time I say this, but motivation. I mean, you are purpose because you have your own purpose in life, which is enjoying, which is being dynamic and active. And obviously motivation is not one shot. Every morning you wake up, there might be the bad day, and you need to recalibrate your motivation. You need to tell yourself something different, because every day we are different, but we have that purpose. What is your motivational word in the morning when you look at the mirror?
True. I mean, I had that a lot, especially with the fear, So the symptoms where I had the jelly leg in the left side. So running was just a challenge. And someday I'm like, no, I'm going to stay in bed. It's going to be a disaster. Maybe I will walk. Maybe I can't run. Maybe I will, have a panic attack. But I'm like, whoa, no, listen, just go there. If it's a bad day, enjoy, the sunrise. I put some music. I'm like, if you walk, it's cool, it's your exercise. Then you will meet, your teammate for coffee. You will have your acai bowl. That's it,
Yes.
I don't need anything else. And also being grateful, I'm like, well, I still have my two legs, some people can't be here. So, okay, you are going through a hard time, but hey, you can be there and you can enjoy. Maybe you can't run, maybe you can't go fast, but you are there, you can be out. So many people can't do that. So being grateful, I think was I think what made me wake up every day.
I think, Pauline, you, apart from this a strong woman in the sport, like physically for what people see from outside, but also the things that you're telling us are highlighting your internal strength, finding resiliency, finding motivation to stand up, and go on and say, okay, you know what, I'm grateful because I'm here and I'm going to enjoy this day. So this is really good on you. And it's great to hear it, sharing, because, when we are with the team, we don't share these things. I mean, like, it's a little bit more,
sure.
it's a little bit more colloquial. It's a little bit more, not adventurous, let's say, much more, not naive, but easy. It's easy to talk with a lot of people. And when we go deep like this, I'm really grateful because you wanted to share, and I really liked the vibes that you gave me with this. With these answers and questions, and all discussion here. What is the next challenge, if you have any plan that you want to share?
Well, slowly. I'm so happy I could do the last few races of the season, those sprints, and I will be racing on Saturday again. But I think I'm going to try something a bit different. I always wanted to do a bit of ultra cycling and exploring countries. So yeah, maybe some gravel ride as well. But I have few countries that I want to go and explore on the bike. One has been, is Mongolia. So that's gonna be
a big one. Yeah, that's a big challenge for sure.
It's a big challenge. Not for Mongolia, but I just want to travel, to explore, and I think there is no best way than being on the bike and go, and that's what I did in Cambodia, and it was just amazing. So probably I will do a few trips like that, and hopefully, if I can run, no, not hopefully, I will be running by the end of the year again, fully. So definitely a 70.3 will be also on the list.
Thank you very much, Pauline. Really good luck with your process and with your journey. It was a pleasure to hear it from you, and you were hiding these gems. Okay. Thank you very much for participating to the show, and I will see you soon.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much for having this amazing show. Thank you.